Hello and welcome to this episode of year 2013 in retrospect. How did the country fare in terms of security and defense in the outgoing year? What were the challenges? How effective were the responses and interventions from government and security agencies especially? And what hopes facing the future? This is the focus of this episode of 2013 in retrospect. Please feel comfortable and let's take a journey together through year 2013. I'm Oyekomi Olatuye, your guide on this difficult terrain. I will be back.
You cannot police anybody who you do not know.
If many thought year 2012 was a particularly bad year for the country in terms of security, I mean internal security, especially with the now becoming terrorist strikes unleashed by Boko Haram sect insurgents in the north and rampaging kidnappers in the south, then the statistics of death and destruction in 2013 must have put pay to that, even in the face of military operations in 3 states in the northeast and police duties across the country. Now, let's look at the statistics. Between January and May 25, when the unabating terrorist attacks led to the declaration of emergency rule by Mr. President, a total of 818 lives have been cut down. These include ordinary Nigerians, military personnel, and insurgents in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states, and other states in the northwest. And between cattle rustlers and farmers in Plateau Benue axis, another 144 Nigerians perished, bringing the total to 962 deaths in 5 months. Now, some of these incidents were not reported, and these are not official figures, which will be far, far below what we have, well, as usual. But this was the position before the declaration of the state of emergency. So what has happened since then? From May 25 to date, here are some statistics for you. In the states under emergency rule between May and October, a period of another 5 months, there have been about 1,248 deaths. In other states in the northwest, we have a total of 158. Again, between Benue and Plateau states, 259 Nigerians got killed, bringing the total between May and October 2013 to 1,665. Since then, other attacks have been carried out with the bombardment of the Nigerian Air Force Base and other locations in Maiduguri in early December, and the Nigerian Army Barracks in Bama on December 20 as the most daring. We may not get the official statistics of casualties in these twin encounters. Here is a month-by-month breakdown of casualties from January to October this year. Now, this is startling for a nation that is not at war. But the figure from the states under emergency rule and military operations still stand out like a sore thumb, and many are wont to ask questions. Why the continued foray and daring incursion of these insurgents, even in the face of military action? We have to go in search of somebody who knows the terrain very well, not only as a Nigerian, but a military officer who had served in some of the places which have now become the den of insurgents. We had a chat with him. Now, looking at the forest of these insurgents from the northeastern part of the country, it's becoming almost intractable that it's as if as a nation we cannot handle them. Is it about the terrain? Because I know that you served in some of these places. What is the terrain about?
Well, the terrain has to do with the problem we have there. I served at Mungono when I was in the army, and my headquarters then, during my time with International Joint Patrol, that we have to deal with problems on the Shad. The terrain in Borno State has a very peculiar terrain in Nigeria. It has borders with 3 different countries. On the right side, the eastern part, it has a border with Cameroon. On the northern side, with the Chad and Niger on the left. Because of the porosity of the border, there's no real demarcation between this is Nigeria and that is Cameroon, or this is Nigeria, this is Chad, around that area. And it has an open terrain, desertic in nature. You can stand there and you have sight of about 10-20 kilometers far away from you, and you can easily get lost because of the sandy nature of the terrain. Let me take an instance. There is a place called Kukawa. From Kukawa to Damasak, you go by road. You have a third road. But if you want to move from Kukawa to Damasak, you move by road from Damasak to Malamfatori. Malamfatori is the last town between Nigeria and a town called Boso in Niger. Okay. The terrain is just desertic because of the sandy nature of that terrain. And it is very easy for people, undesirable element, to infiltrate into the country through all those areas. At times, like that boundary between Nigeria and Boso, there's no macro, just a little waterway. The water that normally have water during the rainy season, and the place is dry during the dry season. So there's no marked border between Nigeria and all those places. So it has effect on, because you can't differentiate between a Nigerian and a Chadian, between Nigeria and a Nigerian. So every one of them, by the time they cross, they say they are from Nigeria because of the peculiarity of the language in between the two borders. I'll give you an instance again. At Gamborungala, we have 2 Gamborus, Gamboru English and Gamboru Francais. So that is one town. The Gamboru France is in Cameroon. Gamborungala, Gamboru English is in Nigeria side, and it is just a bridge that separates between those 2 places. There, right from the time I was serving there, that problem has been there. The problem we had then was problem of banditry. People infiltrating from Nigeria and Chad to come and carry out banditry in Nigeria. But then, later General Marwa was a lieutenant colonel there, around 1991, as the governor of that place. He set up an operation called Operation Saki, combining Nigerian police, army, and SSS. And we were divided into different local governments. So that was how we were able to combat. But as at that time, the issue of religious intolerance started growing in Borno State, 1991. And I remember General Marwa talked about it that time.
Now, in your own view, how do we go about it? You've been involved in some of the operations in this, even though it may not have to do with terrorism, but at least some military actions while you were serving. What, in your own opinion, would help in probably assisting people currently in operations in this area?
As at the time I left the army, only very few of Nigerian army personnel has experience in desert operation, except the armor brigade that we have in Maiduguri, 21 armor brigade. Then we need to do reassessment of our intelligence gathering, reassessment of how we gather information. Information and intelligence, they are 2 different things. When you gather information, that is raw material to convert to intelligence. But by the time you subject information to a lot of discerning and a lot of sifting, then it becomes an intelligence.
do, we do not know.
Also looking at the arsenal of these insurgents attacking with sophisticated weapons, grenades, rocket launchers, and what have you, as well as a discernible expertise that suggests a troop of trained fighters and not a bunch of illiterate bigots. This may well have informed the designation of the sect as a terrorist organization by the United States of America in the course of the year under review. Now, what does that portend for us? How does it help our situation and or bring to an end this consuming debauchery? We again sought an expert's opinion.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Thanks for having us, and compliments of the citizens.
Same to you.
Now, recently, the United States of America designated Boko Haram as a terrorist organization. What is the implication in the light of our fight against terrorism, the war against terrorism in Nigeria?
Well, let me put it this way. It is not for any nation, United States or United Kingdom or any other country, to define who a terrorist group is in Nigeria. We Nigerians will have to have our own definition. But look, these actions being perpetrated by quote-unquote these Boko Haram people amounts to terrorism. Once we are able to define it, and then we have to have a parameter in defining it. Now, one of the parameters that we have to look at is what are their grievances? How are they carrying it out? And we have a way of dealing with situations in this country. Are they following the norms, or they are just taking the law into their hands and perpetrating violence and killings and all that sort of thing in the society? Once we are able to define that, then that is it. Because we have to say that, look, this group is a terrorist group, and as a result of that, we will have to adopt measures to which we can arrest the situation. Okay. Designated it as a terrorist group. There is every indication that we will have assistance from the pool. When I say the pool, in this case, we are talking of informations that is going around, their network, how we can be able to nip it in certain aspects. So we will benefit from it. The knowledge that have gone by, we will be able to tap on it. Information, these are key in handling terrorist groups.
Specifically, what are the implications of this for ordinary Nigerians? There were fears in some quarters that probably it's going to affect business people, ordinary people going for their own businesses in the US.
Well, generally, when they declare a terrorist group in an area, the possibilities of those citizens of those countries to be watched, because you never can tell. The terrorist is not going to put it on his forehead. So anybody with that coming from that country becomes a potential terrorist, quote unquote. Doesn't mean that. In fact, you will have a situation where even prominent Nigerians may be denied visa or other things because of that. Because they strongly believe that, hey, this man is coming from this terrorist country. Okay? And even some people may even not be using certain names. Okay? If it is happening in Yoruba enclaves, and you have the names of Adekunle, Adedeke, Adeyanju, and the rest of them, you have a problem. If it's happening in the north as it is, and you are having the name Aminu, like my name now, you have to have a change of name. It won't happen because of that. So it becomes an issue.
Do you think there will ever be an end to this?
Anything that has beginning must have an end. Anything that has beginning must have an end. And you see, the problem is that after a while, you cannot defeat the nation. You cannot defeat the nation. The nation definitely must defeat this sect. Okay? No matter how daring they are.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now away from the military and its scorecard in 2013 in containing the terror challenge in our hands, do you still remember that the police force is actually the agency in charge of internal security? Now, if many have given up on them in combating terrorism, what of other crimes still plaguing us in the country? Armed robbery, kidnapping, and the likes. While statistics show that incidents of armed robbery, assault on banks, and the rest are getting fewer, the same cannot be said of kidnap, especially the numerous unreported ones in which the nets of the kidnappers continue to be feathered by ransom paid by scared victims or their loved ones. The police should also be praised for checkmating some of these incidents with casualties following. Well, it is also on record that the police have been active in Rivers State. At least, they now determine when to grant access to legislators or engage in kickboxing when it is necessary in assembly chambers, all in the course of discharging their duties in 2013. Well, that's been cheeky. Well, it's not all a tale of woe in the year under review. For example, kudos should be given to the police authorities in Imo, Abia axis for busting numerous baby factories in those states and nabbing rapists who seem to swell in number in recent times. The military, despite the onerous assignment they are saddled with up north, also have good things to share about. Last year, it was the Navy commissioning the first made-in-Nigerian seaworld defense patrol vessel named NNS Andoni. This year, it was the turn of the Nigerian Air Force, which recently commissioned the first also made in Nigeria aerial surveillance vehicle called Galma. We hope all this will continue to translate to better security for all Nigerians. The courts also gave teeth to the anti-terrorism law as 3 suspects were convicted in the course of the year, namely Mustafa Umar, who masterminded the bombing of This Day newspaper office in Kaduna in 2011, a Lebanese Talal Roda for conspiracy for acts of terrorism and illegal importation of arms, as well as Kabiru Sokoto, the brain behind the April 2011 bombing of St. Theresa's Catholic Church in Madala, Niger State. All 3 got life sentences. Now, on my way out, as my colleague, our Obawuhola, this review will not be complete without paying tribute to all the security personnel, military, Department of State Security, Nigeria Police, Customs, and the rest who pay the supreme sacrifice in the course of their duties of providing security for us all. We hold this moment in your honor. May their souls rest in perfect peace, and may those they left behind find help in times of need. So long. That is the package for this episode of 2013 in retrospect, Defense and Security in Focus. I'm Oyekomi Olatoye, wishing you a safer and more secure 2014 ahead. Goodbye.